Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Look at Fieldrunners. This is a newly released, well at least newly ported, tower defense game that just came to Steam. And I mean, you can look at this title screen and you can be like, wow, this looks like it was probably not originally made for the PC. And I believe that indeed you are right. I took a look at Subatomic Studios' website. Fieldrunners is available for other such platforms as iPhone, iPod, Nintendo DSi, PSP. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it, I believe, to play like in a browser on their webpage. But anyway, like I said, this is a tower defense game like I've been playing a bunch of over the past 3 or 4 weeks. Like seriously, this is probably like the 3rd or 4th tower defense game that I've played in April or May that's come out on Steam, which is insane. But the difference between like this one and a Toy Soldiers or this one and a Gratuitous Tank Battles is that this one is super duper casual, as you would probably expect from its, you know, I assume iOS origins. And it's also super cheap, so this one's only $3. Also, it steals its aesthetics, or borrows them liberally, from Team Fortress 2, as you can probably tell just by these two guys right here. Not so much this Commandant here. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Worth noting, by the way, that this is going to be a little bit of a boxy video because... Oh god, I just said boxy video. No, but it's a little bit boxy because you actually cannot change the graphics settings, which is kind of absurd considering that... you know, it's 2012 and this is a game on the PC. Alright, so anyway, right now I've played like half an hour so far, and I have about 3 maps unlocked out of, oh, I don't know, I suppose 8. And this game is actually, as much as I said it's casual, it's also like super hard, like as you can see in the description here. Prevent enemies from crossing the grassy field and infiltrating the base. Defend your territory using 4 towers over 100 rounds, and of course, it gets crazier and crazier as rounds go on. So there's been a lot of times when I've had like the screen filled with fully upgraded turrets and I've still died at like round 60 or 70. So we're gonna keep it on easy. There's other modes here as well, like extended mode, I guess. My guess is that that's gonna be like 200 rounds or something. And then endless mode, of course, is going to be just as long as you can survive. Sudden death, if one enemy gets through to the end, you lose. And I have no idea what Time Trial and Tower Combo 1 and Tower Combo 2 are. But anyway, we'll get started here. And as it loads, I'll pause it very quickly to talk about the interface that we're dealing with. But if you've ever played a tower defense game, you are probably going to be pretty familiar with it. Oh, it's cool. It paused it for me anyway. So top left, we've got our money. We use this to buy and upgrade turrets. We got a score up here, and we have lives. So lives work similar to victory points in Gratuitous Tank Battles, if you watch that video. Every enemy that crosses across the field into your base takes 1 life away. So if 20 enemies get through, then you just end up losing. Now, here's the main UI. We can pause, we can go to the settings, etc., etc. And then we only have 4 towers. This is very much like a more casual, simple style of tower defense game than the previous 2 that I played in Toy Soldiers and Gratuitous Tank Battles. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. So we'll click the screen to begin the play. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is just pause it. So we'll talk very quickly about the turrets we got here. Right now we only have $15, so we can choose to buy this like machine gun turret. We can choose to buy, I'm going to call it an acid turret. The machine gun turret is basically just like crowd control, like it just mows people down. And the acid turret slows people down, so it works kind of like a freezing turret in a game like Monday Night Combat or something. We also have rocket turrets, which obviously deal like huge explosive damage. And Tesla turrets, which deal like very quick, incredibly damaging like electrical type damage. Which is really good against like single targets. And there are like really heavily armored single targets that you can come across. But not so good against big crowds. Now anyway, the enemies are going to pour out of this like 100-acre wood here, and then they're going to make their way through to our base on either side here. So one thing that we should probably do right off the bat is set up maybe a slowing turret, like right here, because we're not going to have very many enemies to deal with at the start, and then just one regular machine gun turret there. And you know, as in like basically every tower defense game ever made, you're gonna start out using a lot of these like really cheap towers, and then by the end you want to have mostly like rocket turrets and a few Tesla turrets. But again, maybe you shouldn't take my opinion on the strategy too seriously, considering I've never made it to 100 rounds, even on easy mode, even on the first level. But anyway, let's get started here. So we'll start playing in normal speed, but you know, 100 rounds at normal speed, I feel like would take like 45 minutes. So most of the time I play on the fast forward function, which works totally fine. If this would... There we go, the countdown has finally finished. A little bit slower than I would have expected. And as things get started, you can just see these TF2 soldiers walking along here. Man, this is going like a snail's pace. I've been too busy playing it on fast forward. Anyway, I think we should probably allow that to happen. So as these first few guys go through, we only get like $1 per enemy, at least for these like very simple enemies. So we don't really get that many turrets to pop down. And then of course we have the TF2 heavies. Like I said, heavily borrows aesthetics from Team Fortress 2, but only in like those two enemy types. The other ones I feel like they felt pressure to be a little bit more original. So I'm just upgrading these turrets now to make them more powerful. Obviously, since this is the first level, it's a little bit simplistic. There's only like one lane that enemies can go through. But the second level, which is the only other one I've played, again, because each level can take like upwards of a half hour, even just to lose, as I often do towards the end. What was I gonna say? Oh, the second level I played had like 2 lanes and then 2 possible exits. So definitely things do get a little bit more complex. I'm going to slow this down for a second just because I want to think about where I'm placing these turrets. So basically my strategy in the early game, get a lot of these slow turrets up just to make sure that everything's going okay. Man, it looks like super slow motion compared to when you play it on the fast speed. And I guess it's what's kind of cool about this game in an Orcs Must Die sort of way. Like, let's compare this to like gratuitous tank battles. Like in that game, there was basically like a set path where you could place your towers, and enemies just like walked down this same set path or drove down this road to get to where you were. And I'm not knocking gratuitous tank battles at all. Definitely that's a game that has a lot more depth than this, although certainly it costs 7 times more than this as well. But this game's kind of cool in that you make your own path, which basically you can force the enemy to go through. So you can kind of lead them on like a wild goose chase to like maximize the time that they spend trying to get from one place to another. And by the other, I mean, of course, your base, eventually. So let's speed this up a little bit. So it's almost like kind of more of a top-down Orcs Must Die in that you're making your own path to make this stuff happen. Anyway, we are basically tearing these enemies up, so I am not going to worry about popping any more turrets down right now. You can see there are other various enemy types as well. The next thing I'm going to put down is a rocket turret, which is going to be really good, you know, like the Tesla turret, as I mentioned, against these, like, single-target foes. Now, I mentioned that the rocket turret does explosive damage. I'm not sure if that is 100% true. Like, I'm not sure if it does damage in an area of effect. But it does do a lot of damage, especially compared to, you know, even, like, 2 or 3 of these fully upgraded machine gun turrets firing at it at once. Now, when the game starts, it starts out pretty slow, as you can see, but we're already on round 13, so I'm getting a fair amount of money that I can use to, buy and upgrade turrets. So the game does get pretty fast-paced. Like, when I get to like round 25 or 30, I might actually slow it down. But, you know, as in most tower defense games, one of the very important keys is not underrating those slow turrets, which actually go a long way towards helping you, especially because they will get crazy. There will be like a ton of enemies that you will see once we get into the later rounds, assuming we do get into the later rounds, which I'm hoping is going to be the case. Now, another strategy that we can take is almost like using our cheap machine gun turrets to force our enemies to go through a path, as I mentioned before. So let's set up like a path here with super cheap machine gun turrets, and maybe we'll toss a slow turret in there as well. Keeping the enemies perpetually slowed, obviously, very important. So now, as enemies get through here, they'll have to go like all the way through this path rather than just going straight through, which is going to give me, obviously, almost more surface area with which my towers can do more damage. So let's bump up our slow turret there. We'll pop another rocket turret down here, and then just start upgrading these machine gun turrets. I'm a little bit OCD in tower defense games. Like, having unupgraded turrets kind of bothers me. So let's get this one in here. Now let's talk about my impressions of the game so far, because I have only... Actually, I guess I should preface this by saying I have only spent about half an hour with the game so far. But I don't think this is one of those games where like there's going to be some hidden depth that's going to reveal itself after, you know, 3 or 4 hours. Like something's going to open up and I'm going to be like, whoa, this totally changes the way you play the game. It seems like this is like the most basic tower defense game I've played so far this year. At least the most basic retail tower defense game I've played so far this year. There's 4 towers. There doesn't seem to be a lot of depth. There just seems to be some mindless fun, which honestly is not so bad. For $3, I think that's a good price for a tower defense game like this. The only question is, if you're like me, you may be super fucking sick of tower defense games by now. We almost had some people get through there. That's kind of the danger of playing on fast forward, is if like one enemy gets through, then a lot of enemies maybe are going to get through. Especially on a wave like this where there's like 20 guys coming in, you can be like, oh shit, by the time you notice like your defenses are breached, they're already like totally through. But anyway, we're doing fine for now. I prefer dealing with these single targets. Worth noting that the flying units, of course, can just fly over your defenses, so my path here is like meaningless to them. But that's why I'll send my path like downwards now, so that they'll have to do a loop, and the flying units will get hit by all the stuff in the loop. Anyway, if you understand what I am saying. So yeah, I think this is like the right price for a tower defense game like this, but I'm super sick of tower defense games, so this is not one of those games that like I'm gonna slow it down a little bit here. Not one of those games that I would necessarily avoid recommending because of the, like it's not a good value for the cost, but I might avoid recommending it simply because, like, I don't want to, playing a tower defense game that doesn't reinvent the wheel in 2012 kind of feels like I'm wasting my time. And like I said, there's a different standard when you're playing like an iPhone game compared to, like a game that I'm sitting down and playing at this PC that cost me like, you know, over $1,000. Basically, you're playing an iPhone game, you're playing it on the bus or something, and the only criteria you have to go through is like, is this game better than a bus ride, and do I have battery power? And I think largely the answer to that question is usually going to be yes, unless you're playing like one of the worst games ever made, and you know, I would know all about that. But when you're playing this on the PC, I'm like, there's so much better stuff that I could be playing right now. But I guess like it's one of those things where I don't want to be a dick to the game, because the game's totally competent, value priced, and even if it's not that deep, it is actually fairly fun, and it's been challenging so far, but it's one of those things I could definitely not see myself spending any time with. So if not wasting your, it might not be wasting your money, but for me, the genre itself, like traditional tower defense games, just kind of feel like I'm wasting my time, and maybe that's a shitty thing to say. I'm sure there's people out there who still love tower defense games. I am, generally speaking, not one of them. But I do have to say that this run so far has gone a lot better. Oh god, come on. You can get him! It's so shitty, he got by with one hit. If only I'd upgraded these turrets a little bit more. But so, as I was saying, you know, kind of bad timing now, but this run has gone so far a lot better than any of the runs I've done previous to this. Now this will be a difficult test to see if I can actually get through these tanks. But each one of these tanks is going to give me like $5, which is maybe $10 actually. Yeah, I think $10. Which is pretty good. Give me a chance to upgrade these rocket turrets. So by the time the last tank comes through here, I should have nearly fully upgraded rocket turrets all the way along this stretch, which will prevent things like that helicopter getting through, which is what got me last time. Alright, we got one more upgrade to buy on this thing. And then I should maybe set my path in motion again, so when like a ton of infantry come through, like they're coming through right now, I don't have to worry so much about like taking them all out, although that clearly went really well. So let's set up, we'll just set like our path in motion here. I almost use like I almost use these, oh come on, don't get through. I almost use these machine gun turrets like sandbags or something in a, or barbed wire in like toy soldiers, where you're kind of directing the path of the enemies, but then try to fill it out a little bit with more, you know, fancy units. Should get some Tesla turrets up soon, but I've been spending a lot of money like building this path. And as you can see, like on fast motion, the game is hectic, but it's not like I can't follow the action, at least right now. Like, it's working totally fine. So the other option, in case you were curious, besides upgrading your turrets, is selling your turrets, which is something that I haven't had to deal with so much. But I imagine if I started pulling in, like, sick money, I would want to get rid of these machine gun turrets and replace those with rocket turrets or something. But anyway, so far so good. We'll just continue to upgrade our rocket turrets here. I think we've got a really good path for these things. Previously, like, I hadn't really thought about using this strategy, so when I played it through myself off camera, I basically just set up like a line, like a direct straight line from my base, or from the where the waves pour out to my base, and they just kind of like walked along, and by like round 40 or 50, no matter how many turrets I had, they were just like, herp da derp da derp, we win. So I'll keep throwing down these slow turrets. Again, can't overstate how important those are to have an upgrade. And, you know, like your standard tower defense game, I feel like that's a sentence there, a preface that I've used a lot. Like your standard tower defense game, there are heavily armored units, and they kind of alternate waves between, like, one heavily armored unit, infantry, lots of infantry, a few heavily armored units. But anyway, it works. I am, for what it's worth, having a good time playing this game so far. But I feel like I would be having a better time playing other games. Just keep tossing down some rocket turrets here. And I also cannot overstate how Team Fortress 2-ish... Oh, these guys are going to get through. Maybe not. How Team Fortress 2-ish, like the soldiers and the fat guys, I'm just going to call them heavies, look. And I have to feel like that was a deliberate stylistic choice, which kind of reeks of unoriginality, but whatever. I guess it doesn't affect the gameplay that much. So we're basically just gonna play through this round until I lose, I guess. So far, so good, really. I'm just gonna focus on rocket turrets. I want to save up for a Tesla turret, but as you can see, they are super expensive, and I don't think I'm in, like, the right position. Oh god, they're starting to get through. I don't think I'm in the right position to, like, afford to save up for a Tesla turret. Like, I would want to do that in a position where I knew that I was going to be safe for a few waves, because it's probably going to take me at least a couple of waves to save up, because they cost $70. And I don't feel like I'm in that position quite yet, because as you saw, like, a bunch of those motorcycle guys got through. And I'm not sure if this game follows, like, the standard tower defense formula of, like, maybe every 10th wave is particularly difficult compared to the ones that came before it. You know what? Whatever. Let's try to save up for a Tesla turret here. And I'm not sure where I'm going to put that. They usually have good range. I can maybe slot it, like, right here in between these turrets so that it can get a fairly wide radius. The Tesla turret, like I said at the very top of the video, works really well on single targets. It's kind of similar to the rocket turret, but I think it fires faster and does, like, substantially more damage, especially when you fully upgrade it. So it works really well in conjunction with these slowing turrets. Like, if you have a slow and a Tesla right next to each other, you'll be in a very good position, because it'll just keep it, like, nearly frozen. Okay, well, there's infantry just getting mowed down. Maybe where would be a good place for this Tesla turret? I don't want to put it right here, but I will. The reason I put it right there is because, like, I want to make sure I'm getting a bunch of people on their way in. And there's a slow turret near it, which is going to help me out a little bit. Kind of hard to get a feel for how well that's working out right now, though. Just pop another rocket turret down right here. Again, this is a particularly easy level, at least of the ones I've played so far, and that's entirely because we know exactly where all the enemies are going to come from, so we can just focus on having one path here. Any guys going to get through here? I think maybe they will, which is unfortunate. Just one. Maybe I should set up another... I should use all my gold from this one, or all my dollars, all my ducats, to set up another, like, machine gun path to keep people going on a roundabout here. Because again, if you increase the surface area, you increase the damage that you're going to do over time to all those guys that are coming across. But otherwise, like, I am not going to do, like, a second level. I normally, when I do, like, Let's Look Ats, tend to do a second level just to show you, like, some variety in the gameplay, but from what I've played so far, there isn't really much variety in the gameplay. What you see is what you get here. Oh, come on. Come on. Don't do me like that. Single rocket turret. You got it? Yes! So we'll fully upgrade that. Obviously, our path has to link up with that at some point. So let's, like, send it down this way. Like... oh my god, they're coming through so fast. Definitely I need to get another slow turret set up, like here. I don't know, man. Maybe another rocket turret here. Kind of force him to go through this diagonally or something. I don't know if this is going to work out. But I've definitely, I believe I've beaten my high score already. Like, I've survived longer than I would have expected. So I really want to upgrade these turrets, but we can't do that just yet. Need a little bit more cash. Start by upgrading the rocket turret. Although it's also important, you know, upgrade those slowing turrets, make sure they fire as quickly as possible. Everyone always underrates the slowing turrets, man. Even myself, like when I played a bunch of Monday Night Combat, the original Monday Night Combat, mind you, on the 360, the slowing turrets were always so valuable, especially when playing against the computer in that blitz mode. But anyway, a lot of people probably don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Let's just start mass upgrading these, forcing them to go through a little bit more hardship in order to get to my precious base and deplete my beautiful victory points. Just keep upgrading this, and this could be the end of us right here. This is not looking so strong. Oh no, we managed to get him. Alright, maybe I was overreacting. That wouldn't be the first time. And keep in mind, this is still on fast motion, so like the entirety of the video almost has been spent in this this one level. So you keep in mind, like, hopefully you got a long bus ride if you're buying this for the iPad. Alright, we'll just let these guys come through, keep upgrading our rocket turrets down here. I kind of wish that, like gratuitous tank battles, there was a scaling fast forward button. Like, it could go 2 times, or you could set it to go like up to 4 times faster. Because right now, honestly, this fastest speed doesn't even really seem fast enough for me. Keep piling on the slowing turrets here, and I guess I'm going to set up a path to make them do like a hook into our base right here. But for now, I think things are going reasonably well. It's funny though, because like, I think I'm doing fairly good at the game, even when I've been playing it off camera. but then I go go to the leaderboards after the level ends, and it's like, you're ranked like 8 million than the person who's in 10th place. Not even the person who's in first. The person who's in 10th has like 25 times more points than you, and you thought you did the best you could possibly do. The person in first has like 10 times more than the person in 10th. I don't know, it's craziness. Am I going to need more firepower here? I don't think so, which should allow me to save up for another Tesla turret, which is awesome. If I could only find a good place for it. And again, this might be a good opportunity to maybe sell this turret for 9 gold and put another Tesla turret right here. And we can upgrade that once as well. We should upgrade our other Tesla turret rather than wasting our money buying, like, basically pathing tools here. Although I can't complain, I guess, because this is working out fairly well in its own right. Come on. Yes, that was kind of close. We're up to round 60. We got this Goliath here to deal with. And here you can see, like, the power of the slow combined with the Tesla turret. Ooh, this could be tricky, though. Because I think that one of the problems is that, like, unlike a game like Toy Soldiers or Gratuitous Tank Battles, you can't tell your units where to shoot. So oftentimes you'll have slowing turrets shooting at exactly the same unit, which is obviously a waste of time. But sometimes they figure it out. I think we're going to be okay here. I don't think anything is going to get through. But I would really love for this Goliath here to be murdered. Oh my god. Okay, we'll upgrade our Tesla turret there to hopefully keep stuff like this from getting so hectic again. Oh, this one might get through, actually. I think we're going to be fine. I'm not going to buy another rocket turret. Yeah, we're going to be okay. Reason I didn't want to do that is because I wanted to make sure I upgraded my Tesla turret here. So remember when these helicopters used to be like a serious problem? Now the Tesla turrets are basically just taking out these heavily armored units in one go. Well, not one go, not one shot, but quickly. Actually, one thing I would be remiss if I failed to mention this. This seems like... The reason this seems like such a casual tower defense game is because you don't have to worry about the enemy destroying your towers, which kind of takes away a lot of the depth in the gameplay. And, I mean, again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely makes this a game that I don't feel like strategy plays as big of a role in. Because, you know, in a game like, again, I'm going to be using these comparisons constantly, and I have used these comparisons constantly, but a game like Toy Soldiers or Gratuitous Tank Battles, you always had to be worried because the enemy shot back. Here we have all these enemies that have, like, guns coming into our base, but they don't use their guns to shoot at our towers, which means that, you know, we just kind of have to worry about placement more than anything else. Which seems like kind of a weird design choice to make a tower defense game that doesn't have any, like, offensive component. I think, anyway, that's my opinion. But anyway, things are going pretty strong here. I wish I could fast forward the game a little bit faster, because now these waves, even on fast forward, are taking like 25, I was going to say 25 minutes, but that would be pretty goddamn ridiculous. So I'm not even going to, I'm just going to save up for some Tesla turrets. I think things are going okay right now. Can't really follow what the hell's happening on screen, because there's just so much shit blowing up constantly. We'll just keep taking out these fat guys on the tiny bicycles. Which reminds me that I should start playing some Trials again. It's been like 2 weeks, man. Oh, come on. That was lucky. And also, perhaps a good indication that I should shell out for some more turrets, because that didn't work so well. What about another slowing turret, like right here? Just to make sure that everyone is slowed at all possible times. Oh, I'm gonna get hurt here. I didn't even know that this turret hadn't been fully upgraded yet. If only one guy gets through, I'll consider that a success. Alright, excellent. We are pretty close to that Tesla turret. Helicopters are not going to be an issue at all, unless there's, 1,000 of them. Okay, that might be a problem. Or not. And again, Tesla turret just basically tearing through these infantry like a lightsaber through butter. I'm kind of excited now. Like, at first, we got through the doldrums of like round 30 to 70, and now I'm starting to feel like maybe we could actually see what victory gets you. Because, like, I've been defeated every single time that I've played this so far, but I've still gotten rewarded for it, if that makes any sense. Like, alright, we got a lot of these guys. I want to toss a Tesla turret somewhere nice. Like, maybe, yeah, that looks pretty good. But I've always been rewarded for it. Like, it's been, you lost, but you unlock the next level anyway, so I kind of wonder what you even get if you succeed. This round is not going to be a problem at all. I assume, anyway. There's still a lot of these Goliaths coming, but... Also, Goliath, my own name for what inevitably has its own name in the game as well, but I haven't seen it. No, I want to upgrade the Tesla turret. There we go. And we're going to be able to get this to level 3 very quickly. So again, I would like to reiterate, not a lot of hidden depth in this game, but in spite of that, it's still kind of fun. But I couldn't see myself like sitting down at a computer and playing this. I could definitely see myself kind of mindlessly playing this on the bus, and I could still like have enough cognitive function, like not be distracted enough to still, you know, make sure I get to the right bus or subway stop. But, you know, playing this on the PC, despite the fact that I'm going to be making like a 40-minute video for it here, is kind of, I don't know, I think it's kind of a tough sell. I wonder, yeah, maybe, you know, a rocket turret here would be nice. So we can, oh man, something's gonna get through here, I think. Maybe not. I gotta believe in myself more. My, like, fatal flaw in these kind of tower defense games is that I never think about stacking my towers deep. I always stack them long, but if we stack them deep, it's gonna be even harder for them to get through here. Where's our weak link? I have a feeling it's, like, through the corner here. I don't know. Everything's going alright. I'm just going to stop sweating it. Just going to keep stacking up these rocket turrets. Making sure that I upgrade them as quickly as possible. And I actually think like our chances are getting better. Oh, maybe not. That was close. I was going to say, I think our chances are getting better as time goes on, but that might not be the case because we almost lost something there. I got another level 3 rocket turret set up. Which is actually great because these helicopters have been the only things really causing me problems beyond the times when they send like 80 infantry at me. Probably more than 80 actually. No, I want to build a rocket turret here. And then I guess I'll start stacking up on the other side and then maybe around this corner. If at all possible, because I feel like that's kind of where my weak link is right now. Got some more tanks. I don't consider that to be a problem. You know, talking again for the umpteenth time about the casualness of this game, it feels like there's like maybe, well, as we can see, 4 tower types, and only, I don't know, maybe 6 unit types. We got like the normal, we got the soldiers, we got the heavies, we got soldiers riding motorbikes, we got heavies riding motorbikes, Goliath mechs, these tanks, and helicopters. That's all I've seen so far. I guess maybe as time goes on we get other enemies, but I haven't seen them. I'm going to set up another slow turret here. We may actually end up letting some of these dudes through. But I've said that a few times and it hasn't worked out. Okay, just take out some of them. I have faith in myself that I can take out 3 of them. Oh, come on. That sucks. Oh well, we still got a lot of potential here. Infantry not going to be a problem. Only got to survive 22 more rounds. Like, I guess my #1 complaint about this game is that it just seems like for a casual game, these levels require way too much time investment. I guess like there is the option to save and quit, but who's gonna like rejoin a tower defense game midway through, right? Like, on the last episode of... I've totally lost my joke there. But anyway, helicopter's gonna die. I got all this money. I have no idea how to spend it because the Tesla turrets have such a short range that I don't want to just like waste it by putting it here. I guess I can sell... maybe like this bad boy right here. And then pop down a Tesla turret. Oh god, what happened? I placed it in the wrong position. And that's really the only strategy that I've been employing. I guess 2 strategies. Build a path and, you know, when you have the money, turn your cheaper turrets into better turrets. But I guess maybe we should work on our depth first. So again, I don't foresee any problems here. We do have a fully upgraded Tesla turret midway through that turn now, which is going to be great against these single-target foes. Although, what has been my biggest problem? I guess tanks have been the biggest problem so far, at least in the late game. Finally! That will die. And we will start setting up some more rocket turrets over here. I feel like if I can get them like bottlenecked right at the very start of this stage, then at the end of the stage I don't have to worry about it so much. Like do 80% of my damage through this like first corner, and then everything else will work itself out. And I kind of feel like I don't know how much more that they can throw at me. Like they're throwing like every enemy that they've got, like dozens of them every single time. The bike guys are actually kind of annoying because if they send a lot of those, then my slow turrets almost always miss some of them, and they can get to the end very quickly. You know, as I mentioned, like in the very, very early part of the video, so an hour and a half ago, when you have fast forward on, it's very easy if you've made like some kind of defensive mistake to just be like, oh, I lost the game in one turn because I'm an idiot. But otherwise, oh, come on. You can do it. We got a Tesla turret in here. Yeah. Take a drink every time I say Tesla turret. No, just keep tossing these rocket turrets down. I guess this rocket turret that I just put down is going to be borderline useless against these guys. That's okay. I think we will get the... Yes. 15 rounds to go. I'm actually kind of finding myself bored with the game the longer I play it. I'm sure that at some point they thought that was a selling point. They're like, man, you can play like hour-long tower defense games on your iPhone. And I don't think people really want that unless they have an insane commute, in which case maybe they should invest in, you know, getting a place closer to their place of employment. Anyway, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to play tower defense games, which is apparently, that's become like 10% of my job on YouTube over the past month, is play every tower defense game that's coming. Like, has there ever been a genre that's gotten as saturated as quickly? Like, there's probably been more tower defense games on Steam in the past 2 months than any other genre, except for maybe Sega, like 16 and 8-bit platformers, because they've been releasing their old collections on Steam. But anyway, I guess twin-stick shooters fall in that category as well. I think these are games that are like really easy to design, and you know, usually don't require a lot of assets to pump out. And that's not like a slight at any of these developers either, because I know particularly like Gratuitous Tank Battles was developed by one dude, and I imagine that was kind of a gargantuan task for him. But like, if you have a team, I'm pretty sure you could pump out a game like this pretty quickly. But anyway, we might as well see this out, see if we can actually make it to our 100th round, and just see what the hell happens. I feel like my high score, despite being near the end of the level, is not even close to the high scores that I've seen on the leaderboards. I have a little bit of fear that we're not going to see that tall, or that really overpowered Goliath die, but again, that's only one heart that we would lose. You know, I think we might do it. Kinda close. We've almost got enough money for another Tesla turret, although I have no idea where I'm gonna put it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Wave 100 brings. By the way, I have basically not touched anything on the screen over the past, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Let's sell this turret. Put down a Tesla turret here. We will have enough to upgrade it at least once. And I'm liking our chances. Maybe I've improved a little bit more at the game since the first time I played it, which is something you might expect. But this run has probably encompassed more gameplay than I've spent with the rest of the game so far. And again, it's one of those things where you know, I hesitate to say things like that because it might make me seem like I'm negligent. But remember, these are not reviews. These are just first impression videos. And you know, my first impressions of this game, I think I've come across pretty strongly. Oh, come on. You can stop him. I come across pretty clearly, I should say. And I'll reiterate that again for anyone who has skipped through the video or who has fallen asleep through the tedium of this tower defense action and has woken up midway through. This is a totally fine tower defense game. It's cheap, very casual, but I just cannot imagine myself sitting down and actually playing this for any length of time when I could be like playing, basically anything else on Steam that requires more brain power. This is the kind of game where you could play it and maybe like cook breakfast at the same time. At least I feel like I could right now, but maybe that's just because I'm particularly hungry. So I guess we'll just keep stacking rocket turrets. We're at like around 97, which is pretty crazy. Historically I've had some trouble with these tanks, but I'm hoping that the addition of all these Tesla turrets is going to make things a little bit more easy for me. I feel like I could use some more slow turrets. Like, I've underestimated the slow turrets again. Even if all 4 of these guys get through, I think we're going to be okay. Okay in the sense that we're going to make it at least to round 100, or close to it. That was easy enough. I feel like there's like one section in here where people are not getting slowed enough. So let's sell that turret. Pop down another slow. Fully upgrade that. And maybe we can get one more Tesla turret by round 100. Although I'm not holding my breath on this one. Now, the helicopters, I feel, are the only thing that can stop me right now. Oh, God. And they might. Well, there's only like 6 of them. Some of them might get through. Yeah, one of them got through. Okay, not a big problem. Achievement unlocked. Here we go. We'll see if we can actually beat the game here. If I can kill one of these Goliaths, I can get a Tesla turret set up, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I might be better off just setting up like one extra rocket turret, like right here. Fully upgrading that, and then just kind of like chuck and pray. Let's pray for the best here. We can get another slow turret as well, although there's already like 1,000 of those on the path. So I think I've actually succeeded at my first game here, which is awesome. And we'll see what benefits that kind of conveys compared to... Yeah, there's not 9 of them anyway, so they're not going to get through. Maybe like 1 or 2 of them's going to get through. In fact, even maybe all 3 of these ones at the end are going to get through. Or only 2 of them. But, yeah, otherwise we're going to succeed here. No problem. I mean, like, 20 dudes did get into our base, but that's fine. Oh, so now we've unlocked extended mode. So I can actually confirm what's up with that. I really wish this game offered, like, a graphical setting where I could make this full screen and not, like, 4x3. This might even be 800 by 600. But anyway, okay, victory, cool. I don't need to see that many fireworks. I'm alright with it. I'm okay. Like, escape. I don't want to restart or save and quit. Please, just end. Okay, this isn't Super Mario World. I get it. Okay. Time trial mode unlocked. Okay, I've unlocked so many things that I just have to watch this entire fireworks show like it's Canada Day. That's our version of 4th of July for you guys. Tower Combo 1 mode unlocked. Okay, I have a feeling I know what's coming next. Tower Combo 2 mode unlocked. In any second now. There we go. Okay, maybe please take me to the leaderboards now. I beg you. Stop torturing me. I was just about to do my send-off. Okay, one thing that's really shitty. There's only, I guess, 10 characters, which I don't understand how games still have that issue in 2012. But anyway, there's Northernlion. You can see I did way better than I did last time. 265,000. Not even anywhere close. On the leaderboards, where there are people who have like 15 million in 10th place, or Zeroness who has, what is that, like 10... Putting myself on the spot here, that's like 1 billion points? That's crazy. Anyway, let's exit out here. So this has been Fieldrunners, now available on Steam for $3, and also, you know, basically any other portable platform you could possibly imagine. It's alright, it's a decent time waster. Can't imagine myself sinking too much time into this on the PC, but you know, you got long bus rides, you got long commutes, definitely, you could certainly do worse if you're a fan of tower defense. If you're not a fan of tower defense, then it's impossible to recommend, because it is, like, this is just, at its core, the toweriest defense of tower defense games that I've played in a long time. And I'll reiterate this, I said it in the Gratuitous Tank Battles video, if you want, like, a more hands-on tower defense game that I think is kind of neat, Toy Soldiers came out last month, it's $10. Pretty cool. Gratuitous Tank Battles, a little bit more in-depth and a little bit less, like, hands-on. It's more, like, strategic, like you're a commander as opposed to, like, an actual soldier. That's $20, but you can design your own units. Fieldrunners, for those of you who, you know, take the bus or subway to work. Who knows, maybe. Anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.